This is the road to Malab, one of the 600,000 villages where most of India's population lives. Most people living in Malab and its surrounding area lead very modest lives. Most are not well off. Many are unschooled and many are extremely poor. Many depend for their well-being and advancement on government subsidies and schemes, and few have any way of knowing about the benefits they can get from government schemes designed for them. According to the laws in India, every person has a right to take part in governance at local, state and national level. But without knowing how government works and affects their daily lives, people cannot participate in an informed manner. But Malab has made itself unique and increasingly acclaimed as the village that has taken very simple and very practical steps to make sure information held with its administration is widely known. This makes it the first village administration in Western India fully compliant with the Right to Information Act. The Right to Information Act was passed in 2005. It requires all departments of government from federal to local to give information to the public. Some of it is to be given when requested for, but the vast majority of information has to be published in ways that will make it available as widely as possible. Local village administrations, known as panchayats, hold a lot of official documents of vital importance to local people. Panchayat officials across India are scratching their heads about how to get large amounts of information out to often unlettered populations living in remote areas. The hub of governance in Malab is its Panchayat office. It is the place where everyone goes to get information. It is always crowded. All day long, hard-pressed officials try to deal with every kind of request. People come in to get birth, marriage and death certificates. Some want to check land title records. Others want income or character certificates to apply for various subsidy schemes and jobs. Many women come in to apply for jobs under India's new employment guarantee law. Most importantly, many poor and anxious people come in from miles away to find out if their names have made it to the long list of folks that qualify for food and housing subsidies, what the timelines are for applying, what criteria are being used for allotments. They need to know who the point person is for every service and where to take their complaints. Sometimes, the same questions have to be answered again and again. New information has to be put out for everyone to see, and old information has to be pulled out of dusty file. Getting information out of busy officials is not always easy. Villagers may have to come day after day and plead with the official who controls the information. Often visiting the panchayat means foregoing a day's wages that would have been earned working in a landlord's fields or at some construction site. Malab had to find a solution for both officials and the public. The panchayat didn't have money or trained manpower or access to modern data banks from which to dig out information. Nor could it rely on fancy touchscreen computers that need electricity that often breaks down. They simply used their imagination. All across the walls of the panchayat office, inside and out, the administration painted the information they were bound by law to make available to the population, even if no specific request was made for it. For example, every panchayat implements 16 different social development schemes for the most deprived of villagers. Be it housing assistance, pension for widows, subsidized food grains for the poor, the job guarantee scheme, etc. These wall panels display basic information about each scheme, its name, who is eligible to get its benefits, what documents are required to make a claim, time taken for sanctioning benefits, and most importantly, the contact details of the officer responsible for handling complaints about poor implementation. The Information Commissioner tells the story.
This Panchmal Abhiyan has a prelude. The prelude was that the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative CHRI had undertaken a study of the implementation of the RTI Act in that district. We had consultations with all the leading civil society groups working in the field of Right to Information Act in Gujarat, including CHRI New Delhi, the Nagarik Adhikar Kendra Kalor, Mahiti Adhikar Gujarat Pahel MAGP and Anandi. After that, these volunteers actually went to the villages. They discussed with all the stakeholders, including the villagers, the village Gram Panchayat Sarpanch, the Talatika Mantri, the public authorities. They try to find out from them as to which department's proactive disclosure is more important for them, and thereafter which information actually was required by them to be proactively disclosed. Now, this was not decided by them, it was not decided by me or the commission, it was not decided by the public authorities themselves, but in a mutual process of consultation, these issues were posed to the villagers, and from the villagers the list of questions or the list of issues on which they want proactive disclosure, that was obtained from them. Housing, education, healthcare, food, these are the felt need of the people, they are the necessities actually of the people. Malau Gram Panchayat, its Sarpanch came forward and volunteered that he would like to make his Gram Panchayat 100% self-compliant with regard to the RTI Act.
It took 2 weeks to paint the walls with the information using templates. Dynamic and changing information like annual budgets and expenditure figures, or dates of important meetings, or telephone numbers were written up in chalk so that it could be updated from time to time. At first, the paintings met with curiosity and amusement, but then the value began to sink in, and very quickly folks became used to the idea of information always being available and current. For those who could not read, there were always their school-going children to help out. Manu Bhai is the Sarpanch, or the head of the Panchayat. He is proud of his administration's handiwork and means to keep the information updated. He has made sure to have the central purpose behind the Right to Information Act, Aapka Paisa, Hamara Hisab, that is, your money, our accounts, prominently painted outside as a reminder to everyone, citizen and public servant, of the importance information plays in good governance.
Those who need information can read it on the walls without asking anyone. Even on a holiday, they can read what is written outside on the walls of the Panchayat and get whatever they need. Housewives can benefit from the various government housing schemes, insurance schemes and widow's pension. Those involved in farming can benefit from agricultural and employment loans. All that is available now. Wall paintings are great, but some people cannot read. To take the Right to Information campaign further afield, we need to get the information out through loudspeakers and village meetings that explain the benefits available under many schemes.
The state government and the head of the district administration are equally enthusiastic.
As a head of the district administration, our desire and wish was to reach to the lowest level, to those deprived people and weaker sections, tribals and women and weaker sections come into the last cadre where government possibly may not reach. To that level we want to empower the people. Rather than being thrust from the government side, if it can be developed at the ground level, then it will have more acceptability, and in true sense that then it can be implemented.
Before 2005, secrecy and silence were the order of the day. People did not feel they could ask, and officials felt obliged to keep even the most mundane of information secret The Right to Information law has turned all this on its head. Now the norm is that every citizen has a right to get information and every government body has a duty to give it. Only a narrow band of information may be kept secret to protect interests such as national security, commercial secrets and personal privacy. This has created a new excitement amongst citizens and energized them, from boardrooms to village huts, into asking how government works, how discretions are exercised, purchases made, contracts given and money spent.
We can say right to information is a key. But there are other laws that you need to make this system work. It's only if a law is not working well that we file right to information applications. But it's very necessary to know about those laws also. We try to give information about other laws through our paralegal training. Besides the access to information law, we tell them about what law is all about, how law is made, who makes it, what our fundamental constitutional rights are, what a citizen's right against the police are, the rights of women and children, how consumer courts work, labor laws. All this is given via paralegal training.
Access to information has allowed small groups of public-spirited people like the Citizens' Rights Center to look into official records and measure for themselves how much of all the development work promised and budgeted for has actually been properly done, and through this claim their rightful entitlements and make officials more accountable. The Right to Information law has handed a powerful tool to citizens to engage with the government in a democratic and peaceful manner. Aslam and friends at the Citizens' Rights Center have used the Access to Information law to get a true picture of how village-level development works are going and whether they are being done according to government's own guidelines.
31 road projects were sanctioned, 22 complete, 9 incomplete, 6 minor community development works were completed, 2 haven't even begun. Drainage works have been done, 1 embankment has been done, but 1 is still to be done. Out of 4, 2 bore wells have been dug, 2 are incomplete. 2 hand pumps have been done, but 2 are still incomplete. 1 gutter has been built and another is still not done.
The Citizens' Rights Center also makes recommendations to the government, for instance, about how village development programs should be selected and executed.
Our first point is that development works should be selected by all the people at the village assembly. Number 2, the village meeting should be held in places and times convenient to everybody. Before every meeting, information should be made widely available in every nook and cranny through youth meetings.
CHRI, the Citizens' Rights Center, along with 6 other groups, have a loose coalition of voluntary organizations and activist groups that go from place to place spreading the message of how to use right to information.
Let's go.
They sometimes organize legal literacy fairs. In rural India, weekly markets and fairs are the place where villagers from all over the area gather. It's a day to do shopping. It's also a family outing and a social event. The village fair is a favorite place for activists to tell people the right to information story. Posters, pamphlets, and video clips draw attention to the value of the right to information. Various government schemes are explained and guidebooks are handed out. Villagers are assisted to write up requests and offered follow-up support.
We conducted information carnivals in Dahod and Panchmahal. In Panchmahal campaign, almost 300 to 400 applications were filed, and in Dahod campaign, the number grew up to 600 to 700.
The campaign for bringing information to people's doorsteps makes a real difference to their lives.
When I went to the village administration office, I read the information and could benefit from the government housing subsidy scheme. First, I got rupees 21,000, then rupees 15,000, and finally rupees 9,000. Altogether, rupees 45,000.
The Right to Information Law is slowly changing the relationship between the government and the governed.
In our village, the fair price shop must be allocated to the minority community. But it was given to the majority community. We filed an information request to find out how this had happened. We heard nothing. We appealed twice. Finally, we have taken the matter to the State Information Commission. Now, after 2 years, at last, the administrative officer is ready to come to us to settle the matter.
The benefits of knowing are very real. Knowing puts a curb on corruption, making access to services provided by government offices easier than before.
In our village, whenever we apply for a passport, the police come to visit the house and verify our identity and address. One time, the policeman demanded rupees 500 as a bribe. At that time, it was paid without argument. But next day, we helped to file a right to information request asking for a copy of the government order which states that the verification officer is entitled to demand money. The very next day, the police in charge agreed to refund the money and corruption was defeated.
Beyond Malav and its surrounding areas, all across India, the message is getting through. In democracy, it is people power. So why not give power to the people? The power and value of the right to information is getting through to people. The right to information is here to stay.
Our village is 100% tribal. Only Bhils, nobody else. It was difficult at first, but slowly our people have become aware through the boards about how many households there are in the village, what schemes can benefit them. It is our job to give them information and get them the full benefit from the government schemes.